All right, it looks like we're live. So excited to do this today. We have a lot to talk about because we do a lot of conversations offline, but this time we wanted to bring it to the interwebs because we're constantly changing our strategy, and we wanted to give you the strategy behind that strategy. And we said, let's just do it live because we're on the phone for an hour talking about this. We might as well pop this up in Permission to Hustle and Audrey and Vera and let everybody sort of have an idea of what we're talking about here. And basically, Audrey and I were talking a little bit today about how we don't mind testing out different things, giving different ideas a go, taking a listen to people, and hey Tina, listening to people's advice. People who are maybe outside of our network, outside of our world, and, sort of absorbing what it is they think that we should do, or different trends that may be coming up, and then doing what we can and making that our own. So that's sort of going to be the discussion today. So we spent some time together the last month. We actually had 2 weeks together this month, which was a total treat.
We had a lot of time together, didn't we?
It was like a total treat. And that gave us some time to sort of sit down and reassess what's worked the first half of the year. We still have quarter four left and what we want to do with that. This is sort of holiday. This is where everything starts ramping up, what our weaknesses are, what our strengths are. And to be honest with you, I feel like knowing your weaknesses is just as powerful as knowing what your strengths are, right? I mean, there's certain things like Audrey, we were just on the phone 5 minutes ago, and she said, it's the busy work. Like, Audrey does not like doing the busy work. She doesn't like sitting down and doing the nitty-gritty sort of things. And as long as you recognize that that's a truth, then you work around that, and that's amazing. Like, if you can recognize that that's something that you don't like to do, then you figure that out and you work on something that you do want to do.
I don't like to do it. It's just like you stop $5 and having it done. What could I do with that hour or 2 hours, 3 hours, rather than, you know what I mean? Like, and you were the one that taught me that a long time ago to work smarter, not longer.
Absolutely.
So, you taught me that strategy, which has been great.
I mean, I make no secret that I hire people to do my food posts on my blog because I literally do not have it in me to cook those intricate, beautifully photographed, perfect lit, I don't even know what, brownies.
You can't even say it.
I can't even say it.
Say it.
You can't even say it.
That's why I have Matt. I'm like, Matt, help. Although Bill is good with that stuff, no, but I get it. And one thing that Vera and I talked about on Permission to Hustle on the retreat was that everybody makes money different ways. If you are somebody who genuinely is blogging, influencer work, because it's a hobby for you, and you're not in it for creating a business or making money. And I know some people who are like that. I have a good friend who genuinely she just loves to post stuff, and if she gets something like $50 here or a great product here, like that's what she's happy with. It's not a business for her in the sense that it is for me and for you, Vera. But the beautiful thing about the influencer world, which Vera and I have learned, is that there are so many different ways that you potentially could earn an income. And, we have never been anybody to have, millions of traffic to our site in a month. I mean, and you and I have always known that and recognized that throughout the last 10, 12 years. And so we've tried to be really smart in terms of what else can we offer? What else can we do? What else do we have in our toolbox of resources or as business women that, I know I'm not going to make money on my blog doing things who are killing it, just making money off their ad network, and they don't do the work that that I do. They don't have to worry about doing other things as Vera and I will do events or Twitter parties or stuff like that. And that's the awesome thing about this space is that there are so many different ways to make money. And as Vera and I were chatting I was driving home today, and she was at her in-laws' house. The best is what you don't understand is that you have grandma's kitchen above your head, and the best moms get promoted to grandmothers above your head.
Yes.
So see? Yes. But we were talking today about how, that is one of the things that we really want to keep driving driving forward for women everywhere who are influencers. Like there are ways to make money. You have to be able to adapt, think outside the box sometimes. Align yourself, talk to women who you see as leaders in the space who consistently are able to reinvent themselves and do. That was the doorbell. No one ever comes to my door. Hello? Okay. I was afraid you were going to have a viral video on your hands because I heard the doorbell, I heard the door open, and I know I locked it. It's my mom.
I was like,
did you see me? Hello?
I was like, where's the popcorn? Who's coming? Hi.
Say hello.
How's everything?
Your door wasn't locked. Well, I'm glad it wasn't.
It's the beginning of every horror movie I've ever watched. I mean,
you wanted to go pop popcorn. You were not even going to call anybody.
I wanted to see what happened.
So, yeah, as my heartbeat is beating, you can continue on, but we were talking about that. But there's so many different ways. Like, find women that are doing different things. Be inspired by them.
Right.
It's just one of those things that you just constantly have to keep in the back of your mind. It's not one size fits all for everybody.
Right.
And that's the way because we know there's not one size that fits all. So
Maria says she's.
I'm sorry, my heart is still out of my.
Maria said she's eating popcorn. Of course you are. Of course you are.
You know what? And Maria is one of those women, Maria Bailey, everybody, who is a leader in our space. She's a trailblazer. She was the one, when anybody asks, like, who was doing it first, who was the mom implementer, it was Maria. And if you guys don't know her, but she's somebody that, we've been doing it now for a little over 10 years. Maria's been in it longer. And, just for the last 10 years, 12 years, really, for you and I, she's someone that you just can learn from and is willing to help and nurture and give you ideas and feedback. And, and that's an important person to find in this space if you're starting out now or if you started out 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that's important to keep in mind too.
But I think it's also really important for, like, the old dogs to still learn new tricks because, like, again, another conversation that we kept on having is, we've been doing this for a long time, but we're still trying to be innovative. Like, we're still trying to come up with new, different, like, what's the next page in our book? Like, what's the new thing that we're going to do now? We've done this, we've done that. Like, what's next? Like, okay, great. We just had a cruise, a mastermind at sea. Like, that was really fun. Like, I took away so much stuff. You took away so much stuff. We just built a little community, but now what? Like, now what's our next thing?
Like, what's next? Like, okay, great.
I'm echoing a little, Audrey. I think I'm echoing a little on your end. But yeah, I think for us, like, we came up with it, again, this morning, last night. We've been talking a little bit, and we're like, that was fun. Like, yes, we're going to continue that stream, and we're going to do another mastermind. We have a call with somebody to solidify the next event, and we're going to announce the date, and we're going to do all of that. That's coming up. So, yeah, that stream will continue, but what's the next layer of the cake? Like, what are we going to do that's completely different? That's the next level. The shaking keeps us steady. That's something that my valedictorian in high school said, and it really stuck with me my whole entire life. He said, the shaking keeps me steady. And I swear, I love that quote so much because it's like, we're like...
I've heard you say that before. I love that.
I love it. It's just like, we need that. Like, we need to constantly keep moving and growing and changing and learning, and the shaking keeps us steady. I find peace, and I don't know, I love to constantly be challenging ourselves and growing. And so, we have some fun things coming up, and we look forward to sort of hashing that out and growing that along with you guys. But it is this live is really just all about encouraging everybody to just take a chance. I think that's what we're trying to say here. And if you crash and burn, you crash and burn, but you will have lessons along the way. I think that's the most important thing we're trying to say. Okay, great. Maybe you host an event, and maybe that event only has 5 people attend. But you know what? While putting together that event, while working with PR companies, while forming your contracts, while doing social media for that event, there's going to be so many lessons that you'll pick up along the way that, okay, maybe the event itself did not do so well, but there's some great takeaways that you're going to pick up through the process. So keep going and,
make it the best event for those 5 people. I mean, Vera and I kept joking before the retreat, like, oh my goodness, like, what if, like, 5 people show up? We genuinely thought that. We're like, what if 5 people show up? What if, like, 35 women cancel in the morning? And, we were like, oh, my God. And then, like, we kind of take a breath, like, for those 5 people. And, there we go. And, and so that is something that we always do keep in mind as well, and just really, and we always have a 6-month rule. Vera and I have always had like a 6-month rule. If we want to try something different, try something new, we say we're going to give it 6 months. And then if it's not really benefiting us in 6 months, then you change course. But you got to give things time to nurture. You can't expect results in a day, in a week, in a month.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're implementing a couple new things that we learned in our conference. Like we literally learned things in our own conference. And, I am seeing, slight increases in the things that I'm doing for Pinterest, for example. But, the thing that I'm thinking about as well, like imagine what this is going to look like in March. If this is happening in 2 weeks, imagine what's going to happen in March. I don't ever worry about today. I'm thinking like you can't be that short-sighted. You gotta give yourself some time. Everything takes time too. That's another great lesson to sort of sit in because we're such a our society right now is so like instant gratification now, but that's just not feasible. That's not realistic when you're making adjustments like that. That's just not possible.
Although, can I tell you this one thing? On the way home, I was listening to Ryan Seacrest, and maybe you've heard of him because I slightly listen to my kids talking about Fortnite. I don't listen to a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And I guess on the cover of ESPN this month is a guy with green hair. And I guess Ryan Seacrest was like, oh my God. I was like, what athlete is this? I kind of thought I knew all the athletes. I've never seen him. What does he play? And he's a gamer. He's the first gamer to ever make, I guess, the cover of ESPN. I forget his name. It was like Liquid, Nitrate. I don't even know. Someone know his name. But he's the #1 Fortnite player, I guess, in the world. He was doing a live with Drake and had over a half $1 million a month. So I actually don't even want my children to know the story behind this because they're going to say to me, see, it's humanly possible. And I'm going to say, but I would prefer you not to, maybe like rot your brain with video games. But it was one of those things where I kind of thought, you know what? Whoever thought that you'd have a gamer on the cover of ESPN? Maybe this kid wasn't an athlete. Maybe this kid wasn't a musician. Maybe this kid wasn't an artist. Maybe he didn't fit into that perfect little box that kids, you try to fit a kid into. And he just was great at gaming. And then look what he has turned into. So someone probably knows his name. I forget. I mean, it was something kind of different. But, again, I'm thinking like, I forget. I want to say Liquid, but I know that wasn't his name.
Oh, so, my God, wow. Meanwhile, I'm like, Caleb, pick up the remote control.
Meanwhile, like, Caleb, go practice. Do not get up from that couch for an hour.
Right.
You're in training.
I'm like, go over there and start playing Fortnite. My gosh. Well, anyway. So and also the other thing.
You know what? I keep breaking up a little bit, right?
I know. Sometimes I can't hear you. And then the other thing that we were talking about is you said that you did some shopping today.
I went shopping today. Victoria is, I don't know, like winter clothes from her. I kind of had waited, and I know that usually sales happen after, obviously, school starts. So, I went to Target and I got her some new clothes. And then you see my hair here. I'm trying to mat it down. I don't know if you see me. It's not like, it's not me doing anything weird. It's me trying to tame it. I have very thick hair. And Vera, when we're going together in Omaha, right? You came to my hotel room, and she was like, I forgot my straightener. And she picked it up, and you're like, doing it. It like wasn't straightening your hair.
No, you broke up a little bit. So I used your hair straightener, and it wasn't working on my hair. And I was like, what is this? Is this like, did you get this in a party bag? Like, what kind of straightener is this? It's not like...
Jeez, I thought it was good. The best was like, where's the heat? And I'm like, there's no heat. It's just an on or off button.
Yeah.
And your face was priceless. You were like, my doorbell's ringing again. Hang on.
This is like the busiest you've ever been. So her hair straightener had no heat setting. It wasn't working. And she's owned it for like 10 years. And I was like, Audrey, 2018, like this is, you're sizzling your hair. You're not protecting your hair with this straightener. You have to buy a new straightener. I mean, I don't even want to use it. I mean, it was like as I was using the hair straightener on my own hair. So I made her go and buy a new hair straightener, and you just flung back in. There was like a 4-second delay, and you went from the edge right to your seat. That was kind of funny, actually.
You don't know that I fly?
Apparently not. So what did you buy?
This is in honor of Vera. I actually went out today. You know Sally Hansen, right? Mm-hmm. You must have one. It was a Sally beauty store. So yeah, I went in. I saw that they had sale in the window, and so I said to the woman, I want to spend about $75. And I had already known from my hairdresser. She told me to get a magnesium one for my hair. I had no idea what that meant, but she said get a magnesium plated one. And so I went in, and the woman was like, "This is an Ion Magnesium Pro."
Awesome.
It was, I think, $90 marked down to $75. They had a sale going on. And I haven't tried it yet, but there is heat. So you're going to be happy for me.
And your hair is going to be happy, too.
I actually wanted to try to straighten it before we did this, but I didn't have time. I keep breaking up a little bit. You know that I have bad internet.
I know.
It's raining here, so I think it's messing it up.
Oh, wait. Dana wrote a quote. We all live in a state of disequilibration in order to...
Here has some sound things. Can you put underneath it a little sign of how to break it up phonetically?
I can say it in my head, Dana. I can say it in my head.
Say it slow.
I can't.
Here, one more time. Say it slow. Slowly. I have to get my camera arms. Do it again. You know, this is liquid gold for Matt.
I can't. Equilibration? I can't say certain words. That's a hard word.
Lubrication. I don't know if you're saying this correctly.
Please, let's not go down that road again. I know what you're saying, and that's the same exact quote, Dana.
You can't. No.
Oh my God, that made me laugh. I'm crying.
We're gonna get a little insert just to put it up. To say, look at this beautiful quote.
Yesterday I said something so bad, like so off. Bill, what did I say that your mother and Liam made fun of me? I was like, I said like spunky instead of like spuds or something. I can't remember. I said a sentence so off that even his mother corrected me, and she never corrects me. Like, everyone stays quiet, and she was like, "That just doesn't make any sense what you just said." She was like, "That is so."
When we're together, and you're like asking, like, what if somebody asks us to spell something, and you and I are like, and you're like, "Don't ask us."
No. I'm like, no.
Or directions.
Yeah, I need Grammarly. Like, I need Grammarly in my eyeball. So, like, what I'm saying, and like, it just needs to just pop up in real life because I'm just not the best with that sort of thing. Oh, thank you for the good laugh, Dana. Nope. Audrey, you're in and out.
Are you going to share something too?
I don't have.
I know.
Yeah. I don't have anything to share today, but we will. We'll get to sharing more next week. But that's our tip for today about just not being afraid to just take a chance, trying things new, doing what you do best, giving up on things that maybe are not working, and listening to people who maybe see you in a light that you don't necessarily see. I think that's important to keep talking. I think it's really important to keep talking to people that are familiar with you, familiar with your industry, and really get a grasp of what's going on. And maybe they'll give you the push that you need. So keep that going. I think that's definitely. It's just nothing. It's nothing. This is all nothing. So the other tip is it's all nothing. So give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, who cares? So that's the other tip of the day. Like, just put it out there. If you start doing video and it doesn't work, so what? It's just video. You know what I mean? It's not going to kill anybody if you post some videos up and you give it your best. So that's our last tip of the day.
All right, so yeah, when we're shooting this for the first time on Ecamm, so I don't know how to log out of this. Do I just press the little red button and I'm assuming that I'm done?
I'm going to hit finish, and then it's going to all log us out. So until next time. Bye, guys.